Have you ever video, we take a close legend and thought, wait, who is that? What happens when America's most beloved leading men become completely unrecognizable? Brilliant career. Today, we're diving behind the most shocking male celebrity transformation that left fans questioning everything that they in Hollywood about their favorite stars. Frozen on the silk. From boxing legends, male celebrities, sexy icons, to music eyes that make you went too far, chasing eternal marriage that was once. These stories will make you want to have left fans. Is there a point where transformation older generous structure?
Did you ever find?
Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss the highly celebrity updates that ever. Don't forget to like. Trust me, you won't believe what some of these stars look like now. Sylvester Stallone, the action hero's endless fight. Sylvester Stallone built an empire on being the ultimate American fighter. Rocky Balboa and John Rambo became symbols of resilience and determination. But even legends face their toughest opponents, time itself. Stallone's battle against aging has been as public as his movie fights, involving facelifts, Botox, and brow lifts that have left fans mourning the loss of his rugged working-class appeal. Born with nerve damage that created his iconic crooked smile, Stallone has been open about surgical correction on the left side of his face. However, experts believe his smooth, almost porcelain-like appearance suggests extensive work that's gone beyond medical necessity into vanity territory. The result is a face that looks more like a wax figure than the gritty Philadelphia boxer who captured America's heart. Stallone's transformation reflects our cultural obsession with defeating aging at any cost. In a country that celebrates comeback stories, his surgical journey represents the dark side of refusing to go quietly into retirement. His legacy remains intact, but his face tells a different story about the price of trying to stay forever young. Kenny Rogers, the gambler's losing hand. Kenny Rogers knew when to hold him and when to fold him in cards, but when it came to plastic surgery, the country legend made some bets that didn't pay off. In the 1990s, Rogers underwent multiple procedures, including facelifts and eye surgery that left him looking stretched and unnatural. A far cry from the rugged storyteller who gave us The Gambler and later. The most dramatic change came from eyelid surgery that Rogers himself admitted was a mistake. "It was so tight around my eyes, it was driving me crazy," he confessed in his 2013 memoir. The man who once embodied American country authenticity had traded his weathered, lived-in face for something that looked artificially preserved. Rogers' story serves as a reminder that some changes can't be undone. His surgical choices sparked conversations about why America's male entertainers feel pressured to maintain youthful appearances in genres like country music, where age and experience traditionally added credibility. When Rogers passed away in 2020, fans remembered the voice and the songs, but many mourned the natural face that told the story of a life well lived. Carrot Top, the comedian's physical punchline. Scott Thompson, better known as Carrot Top, has undergone one of entertainment's most dramatic physical transformations, turning from a scrawny, red-haired prop comic into a muscle-bound figure whose face barely resembles his original appearance. While he denies having any surgical procedures, the changes are so dramatic that they've become part of his comedic brand. His face has evolved from angular and thin to fuller and more defined, with arched eyebrows and smoother skin that suggest extensive work. What makes Carrot Top's transformation fascinating is how it reflects America's fitness obsession. He credits his new look entirely to bodybuilding and healthy living, though experts remain skeptical about the facial changes. In true American fashion, Carrot Top has turned the speculation into material, joking that if he'd actually had plastic surgery, he'd look even better. His transformation represents a unique category of celebrity change, one where the mystery itself becomes entertainment. Whether natural or surgical, his evolution from nerd to muscle man embodies the American belief that anyone can reinvent themselves, though questions remain about the methods used to achieve such dramatic results. Cowell, The reality TV mogul's reality
One day, I
check.
think he was watching the MTV.
Simon
And then
Cowell's
kind of
transformation
yeah.
from sharp-tongued British import to smooth-faced television fixture reflects America's influence on even the most confident personalities. The man who built an empire on brutal honesty about others' appearances found himself trapped by his own vanity, admitting he used Botox like toothpaste until his own son didn't recognize him. Cowell's surgical journey included excessive Botox, fillers, and dental work that left him looking like a different person entirely. The turning point came when he saw a photo of himself and genuinely didn't recognize his own face, a moment of clarity that's becoming increasingly common in Hollywood's surgical culture. What makes Cowell's story compelling is his public reversal. After years of enhancement, he made the radical decision to stop, remove some fillers, and embrace a more natural aging process. His transformation back toward normalcy represents something rare in celebrity culture, admitting you went too far and having the courage to change course. In an industry that rarely acknowledges surgical mistakes, Cowell's honesty about his appearance regrets offers hope that self-awareness can triumph over vanity. Jedlica, the human Ken doll's American dream. Jedlica represents the extreme end of America's transformation obsession, having undergone over 1,000 surgeries to become a living Ken doll. His journey began at 18, just 4 days after gaining legal control over his body, marking the start of a $600,000 surgical odyssey that challenges everything we think we know about identity and self-expression. Born in New York, Jedlica was inspired by lifestyles of the rich and famous, seeing plastic surgery as a symbol of wealth and success rather than insecurity. His extensive modifications include multiple nose jobs, breast implants, shoulder augmentation, and facial restructuring that has made him 99.9% artificial by his own estimate. What's uniquely American about Jedlica's story is his unwavering belief in the right to self-determination. Despite not coming from wealth, he found ways to finance his transformation, even briefly living in Trump Tower during a marriage to a businessman. Now residing in Australia and openly practicing polygamy, Jedlica views his body as an art project and himself as a living sculpture. His story forces uncomfortable questions about the limits of personal freedom and whether there's a point where self-improvement becomes self-destruction. Burt Reynolds, the mustache that couldn't save him. Burt Reynolds embodied American masculinity for a generation, becoming the box office king of the 1970s with his combination of rugged charm, athletic prowess, and that iconic mustache. However, his later years revealed the insecurities that plagued even the most confident stars as he underwent procedures that stripped away the natural weathering that had made him appealing. Reynolds admitted to eyelid surgery and lifts to address drooping that affected his vision, explaining he was tired of people telling me I looked tired. While medically justified, the procedures seemed to rob him of the lived-in quality that made him relatable to working-class audiences who saw him as one of their own who'd made it big. His transformation reflected the impossible standards placed on aging male stars in Hollywood. Unlike female celebrities who face obvious pressure to maintain youth, men like Reynolds faced subtler but equally damaging expectations about vitality and virility. The surgeries may have opened his eyes physically, but they seemed to close off something essential about his spirit. When Reynolds passed away in 2018, fans mourned not just the loss of a star, but the gradual disappearance of authentic masculinity in American entertainment. Ray Liotta, the Goodfellas' changing face. Ray Liotta's evolution from the intense, sharp-featured actor of Goodfellas to a smoother, more polished version in his later years sparked conversations about aging gracefully versus aging desperately in Hollywood. Known for his piercing eyes and distinctive voice, Liotta's apparent facial changes suggested extensive work that softened his dangerous edge. His face showed signs of facelifts and Botox that made his skin appear tighter and less naturally expressive. Ironic for an actor whose power came from his ability to convey complex emotions through subtle facial movements. The procedures seem to diminish the very qualities that made him memorable. The lines around his eyes that suggested experience, the slightly weathered look that made him perfect for playing morally complex characters. Liotta's story illustrates how plastic surgery can backfire for character actors whose appeal comes from looking like real people rather than movie stars. His transformation raised questions about an industry that pushes even supporting actors toward an artificial standard of perfection. When Liotta passed away in 2022, fans remembered the intensity and authenticity of his early performances, mourning not just his death, but the gradual loss of the natural, unpolished quality that made him irreplaceable. Gene Simmons, The Rock, God's midlife makeover.
Have to stop getting on each other because there will always be disagreements. You know,
shocked fans when he underwent an extensive 11-hour surgical makeover at age 57, documented on his reality show, Gene Simmons' Family Jewels. The procedure included facelifts, eyelid surgery, and liposuction that transformed the aging rocker into a smoother version of himself. What made Simmons' transformation remarkable was his complete transparency about the process. Unlike celebrities who hide their surgical journeys, Simmons treated his makeover like a business decision, openly stating, "I'm in the entertainment industry. I need to look good." His matter-of-fact approach reflected a pragmatic view of celebrity maintenance that's become increasingly common in American entertainment.
The wisdom of the founding fathers was that
the results were mixed. While Simmons achieved a more youthful appearance, some fans felt the procedures robbed him of the dangerous, otherworldly quality that made Kiss legendary. However, his career didn't suffer. Concerts continued selling out, and his business ventures thrived. Simmons' story proves that in America, honesty about cosmetic enhancement can actually increase respect, especially when framed as a professional investment rather than personal vanity. His surgical journey became part of his brand rather than a source of shame. Michael Jackson, the king of pop's tragic transformation. Michael Jackson's transformation remains one of entertainment's most heartbreaking stories. A tale of extraordinary talent overshadowed by a desperate quest for an impossible perfection. What began as rhinoplasty to improve breathing evolved into a decades-long surgical journey that fundamentally altered his appearance and identity, reflecting deeper struggles with self-image and societal pressures. Born into an era when black entertainers faced explicit racism and narrow beauty standards, Jackson's changing appearance became a lightning rod for discussions about race, identity, and belonging in America. His increasingly lighter skin tone, dramatically altered nose, and facial restructuring sparked debates that went far beyond celebrity gossip, touching on painful questions about self-acceptance and cultural identity. The tragedy of Jackson's transformation wasn't just physical, but psychological. Each surgery seemed to distance him further from his original self, creating a face that bore little resemblance to the young man who had captivated the world with the Jackson 5. His story serves as a cautionary tale about the intersection of fame, mental health, and body dysmorphia in a culture obsessed with perfection. Despite the controversy surrounding his appearance, Jackson's musical genius remained undimmed, proving that true artistry transcends physical form, even as his transformation became a symbol of fame's destructive power. These 10 transformations tell a story that's deeply American. The belief that we can reinvent ourselves, that change is always possible, and that perfection is worth pursuing at any cost. But they also reveal the dark side of that dream. The point where self-improvement becomes self-destruction, where the pursuit of youth robs us of authenticity, and where the face in the mirror becomes a stranger. That once sexy icons, each of these men started their journey with the best intentions, to look better, feel more confident, or maintain their careers in an unforgiving industry. But somewhere along the way, many lost sight of what made them special in the first place. Their stories remind us that true charisma, talent, and appeal can't be surgically enhanced. They come from within.
Did you ever find
What did you think of these
later
shocking
and say,
transformations? Were you surprised by any of these stories? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more celebrity deep dives that reveal the truth behind the headlines. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest content exploring the real stories behind Hollywood's biggest stars.